Hi everybody, welcome to the promised video of my snake room. Actually, before we start with the snake room, I have something else I'd like to show you. I keep this video in English just because more of the people following my page speak both English and German than just German. I hope that's okay for everyone. So, what's the first thing? For the ones who followed my site in last weeks, they know I've been working on some new enclosures, and of course I want to show them to you as well. But they're not in the snake room, and that's where we start in the guest room. A bit messier than it usually is, just because I never have guests, so I'm using this room for other things as well. So there we are. We're starting in the guest room, and as you will see, when you come in, due to these nice glass sides that you have here, you can already look into the corner enclosures. Some of them don't have glass doors yet, so these animals will have to stay in hibernation for another week. They've been a bit too small, so we needed to order new ones. So, as you can see, I've just finished the walls, and what I really like to do is have a mix of real plants and for the corners also a few artificial plants. You can see the structure, and I really want to show you what it means for the snakes, because it's quite amazing. As you can see, it has really deep 3D, well, what do you call them? Rock structures, and that means they can climb all the way along the walls, which is quite cool. So, as an example, I've changed my mind. First I wanted to use them for the baby bull snakes, but, well, I have, as you know maybe, I have this 20-year-old black Mexican king snake, and he's not very active anymore. Plus, of course, all the black king snakes like to eat other snakes, so I thought I'd not, take the risk, put them in the big snake room, but I have them separately in the guest room. So these 3 enclosures will be for my 3 black Mexican king snakes. So, lots of fruits, lots of things to use for climbing, digging, etc. I think they came out really nice. As you know, one is missing. Hope to have that one finished by summer so that my little ivory bull snake maybe from last season can move in. And then, what do we have as well here? This is, let's say, the interim enclosure for one of my newest snakes, the Elaphia carinata. The female will live in here for a while. It's 1.60 meters long, a bit more than 70 centimeters deep, and 1.30 meters high. So quite a big tank. I've added some platforms. They're not super pretty, but they serve a good purpose. I could put some hides on there, and she will have a chance to climb if she wants to. So overall, I think for one season, this is not too bad. I will add a few more smaller things, through the year. Let's see. So, that's the first part. I really like, with the corners, how deep they are. So the snakes really get a chance to hide all the way in the back. Even though I hope they won't poop there all the time, because that will make it difficult for me to clean the enclosures. Alright, then on our way to the snake room, I wanted to show you this. So while I had all the enclosures done, I also, of course, gave my boa's enclosure a new makeover. Of course, she doesn't hibernate, so she was awake all winter. And this is what happened to her flower. This is a normal, I don't know if you know those, also outside of Germany, Switzerland, it's a Schefflera, tropical plant you find in most households. And this one has grown towards the light in a very awkward form. And since it couldn't go anywhere, it had reached the ceiling, I just took it out now. I will give it a new pot and a bit of love and see if I can make it happy outside of the boa's enclosure. But this is a good example showing that even with really big snakes, you can have living plants in there and they will do just fine. Okay, folks, time for the snake room. This year is a very special one, because this will be my last year in this room with my snakes. As some of you know, we're moving to northern Germany end of this year. And I'm taking the snakes with me, and some of them will get new enclosures, much bigger, because I will have a lot of room in the new house, and I'm so excited. So some of these visits will go, and all the 4X ones will come with me. So here you can see, these are some of the enclosures for the corn snakes, for the younger ones. So 1 to 2 year olds, and my little ghost blood red pie, he's already 2.5 years old, but he's rather small, so he'll be fine. I can see my hands in the video, sorry, mirroring a bit in the glass. So again, mix of artificial plants, a few live ones. They will grow as the season moves along, and then it will be even nicer. All right. Look, you can see a little fellow over there. Let's take a quick look. Hi, buddy. So the light is not perfect. Let me see if I can show it a bit better. It's actually looking quite dark, but it's not in real life. Oh, there's another one. I've done there, let's see if I turn this light off, if it's a bit better. Oh, it's not really. Just showing me. So, what I can do is just show it like that. So these are, as mentioned, I just switched off the light, so it's normally not that dark. For the last babies of last season, my 2 smallest holdbacks and the 2 last corn snakes for sale. I keep them in, well, a little, almost like a rag, but really nice. It's like little vivariums stacked on a tile, as you can see. Like it's one big vivarium. That's really nice for them. Anyway, back to the big ones. So these ones I've had for like 7 years now, and I haven't managed to put any walls in there. I'll show you what I mean. This is what they look when I get them. This is what I want them to look like. So of course, you know this one. It's been my very, very first 4X with which I designed the walls, and you can see it's a special style because back then I didn't know what I was doing, but still, it's still looking fine. That's the nice thing about 4X and Vika plant. They're very durable, very lightweight, easy to clean. They like water. So that's one for 2 of my big corn snake girls, and here's the other one. See, that's the newer style of walls I built. Not that edgy, a bit smoother, still a lot of platforms, and the typical mix of artificial and real plants. And of course, what's very important, wet boxes. So each enclosure has at least 1 box filled with moss. That's very important to me. It makes it easier for me. I don't need to spray all the time. They can just go into the moss box if they like, the wet box, and they're fine. Now, this one will be for another 2 corn snakes. Even though it doesn't have any walls, I'd still try to put in some branches so they can climb, some platforms. It's not super pretty, but as I want to put in walls next year, it's more about functioning than about visual attractivity, I would say. And here's another one. And this one, look, this is a nice plant. It's a ficus, gum tree. Is for the male Elaphia carinata. It's 1.50 meters, 70 deep, and 1 meter high. In the house, they will go get much bigger enclosures, but I think for the first year with me after quarantine, this will do fine. So, again, a few platforms, a lot of heights. There's a big wet box back there. I love these little, well, slices of tree. They add some nice decoration and a bit of texture, and you can spray them, and they will give off humidity for quite a long time. All right, then these ones are not new as well. They've been with me ever since I moved here. They've been the first ones I've built in this flat. 1.40 meter long and 65 deep, 65 high. This will be the, let's say, teenage vivarium for my 1.5-year-old bull snake lady, the hypo lady. Then, second one will be for my sun-kissed blood red male. And then another one for my two smallest 2.5-year-old ladies, hypo, motley, striped, and my Tesoro Snow. I really, really love this one. Look at it. It's like a tunnel. First I was scared that the snakes would get stuck in there, but they're so smart. So normally, no issues. Now, these ones are empty. Waiting for the new baby season. Very useful. And then, maybe just to show how organized I can be, feeding boxes. So this is where all those snakes that I have in groups of 2 will go in for feeding. I know there's a lot of discussion about if you should co-hab snakes with coin snakes. I sometimes do it, even though I try to put more and more into their own enclosures, and in the house it will be much easier. Now I think this is my favorite corner, I can say. These are the vivs I finished 2 years ago. You can see the walls, they're just so amazing. And there's the only one not in hibernation anymore. My little ginger girl. She had a very, very big clutch last year. So when it was time for hibernation, she was still really, really small. And then I didn't want to, you know, take any risk in her dying during hibernation. So I just left her outside, and she will have a breeding break this year. Look, now, as I mentioned, look at this. So they can lay in these little, well, it's almost like hundreds of platforms. They really like to sit here and wait for their food. They will have lots of wood, plants. There's a wet box. These wine branches that you can see here, they're actually from a wine farm in the neighbor village. And believe it or not, they're 40 years old. The farmer had them, or he's known them since he was a child. But a few years ago, you know, we had frost very late in spring when all the wine was already blossoming. And so they had really bad damages, and they had to kill these 40-year-old plants. And just accidentally, I asked them if they would have some that we could use. So we helped them actually tidy up all the ripped out wine branches, plants. And we could pick as many as we want for our snakes, and that's what we did. We still have them, we clean them every winter, put them back in. I think they're gorgeous. And I mean, the story makes them even more interesting, and my snakes just love them. So as you can see, ghost mask motley stripe, that's one of the semi-adult males. Here's another male. His name is Monster for a reason. And then we have one of my best breeders, my hypomask striped. Amazing animal, super docile, super curious, always comes out. He's the only one I would actually consider tame in a way. He really comes to me. Otherwise, normally I don't handle my snakes that often. And these ones are new. See, I didn't clean the glass properly. I hate cleaning glass. They will be for my American bull snakes, as you can see. Kingsville red, here's the male, or the male will move in here, and the female. They will get a few more oak tubes, like this one, you know. When I had all of them out and cleaned, I had a huge pile, as you maybe saw, with the hides as well. And I felt very confident that I would be able to really have a lot in the vivariums. And now when I'm finished decorating, I noticed there could be a few more things in here. It looks a bit empty. So I ordered more. And then I will add a few things to these. Then, these are the 5 special vivs I had built. Why are they special? You can see the back part is longer than the front part, which gives them a nice angle, which is really useful because they're standing next to those. But as you can see, I can see everything. I can easily clean the big ones so they're not blocking them. And these ones are already in use. Some of my babies from last year live in here. I don't put them in hibernation in the first year. So these are perfect baby vivs for the first, yeah, I'd say first year. 90 centimeters wide, 40 high, 40 deep. I don't think we're gonna see someone that far to... Oh, of course you can see him. So that's the little ivory male saying hi. He will move into the guest room, the one that needs to be finished as soon as it's finished. And then he'll give this one for one of the smaller holdbacks. So look at him, isn't he gorgeous? And then, yeah, he's hiding as well. Just put a few branches in there. As you can see, same principle with the walls. Lots of climbing possibilities. And there's my little black girl. Not bred by me, but she's doing very well. So I have 4 black ones. I have an adult female, the 20-year-old male. I have a teenage male that I got from someone well, who didn't keep him well. And I have this little girl that I got from a German breeder. So again, choop. And now, here's the biggest ones I have. My 2 bull snake vives and my boa. So it's a Brazilian rainbow boa. Choop, and my head. Now, as I mentioned, I still ordered a few more things for decoration. This corner is rather empty because I hibernated my bull snake lady with her wet box, and that wet box normally goes there, and she loves that corner, so that's why it's empty. Just waiting for her. As you can see, I love ferns. I think they do really nice. They are so plushy, but normally they don't survive more than 1 season with me. Not very good at them with them. And here's the male bull snake's enclosure. So they will also get much bigger enclosures in the house, and I can't wait. And I want to give them walls and platforms because they do climb a bit, and they're just so spectacular to look at. Okay. And then of course, this one I love so much. Look at the... This is actually supposed to be for herbs, planting herbs, this little water bowl, and I use it for my snake, and she fits in there right, like perfectly fine. Then, of course, her wet box. She has a heat panel in there as well. A few plants. She's, as I mentioned, very good with them. Now, since she's already in her enclosure, yep, you can see her there in the back. You see, below the platform. She was a bit upset when I took her out yesterday. She's a lovely, lovely girl. She would never bite or threaten me, but she just doesn't like to be handled, so she gets a bit hectic. So these ones are 2 meter long, 75 deep. The boas is 90 centimeter high. The other 2 are 60 each. So in the house they will get 225, also 75 deep, just because that's the best size to get them out of doors without having to screw them apart, which doesn't work with these ones once they have walls in them. And then just a little detail all the way back. This is where I put the fauna boxes, so the little vivariums for the bull snake babies. There's 12 of them you can put in here. When they hatch, the room will be very warm in summer, so they don't need extra heating. This is where they go, so right next to mom and dad. All right, so as I mentioned, my last year here, it's a bit weird. I think I used every little bit of space. And I will miss it. Just put so much work into all of this. I think it turned out really nice. Yeah. What I also wanted to mention, as you can see, there's no racks in this room. And also not in the whole apartment. I don't have any racks. I don't keep my snakes in racks. All of them get enclosures, and that's also one of the reasons I want to share these videos. Just to really show this. I have feeding boxes, and I have these really small envelopes for the babies. And of course, when they hatch, the corn snakes, they go into such boxes for the first months, maybe 1 or 2 months, and then they move into little vivariums. So no racks for my snakes. Okay. He's there still. Turn the light back on. Oh, there's another one. Oh, the Neritocera, hard to see with the lights being a bit annoying. I'm no good in doing videos. My hands are far too hectic. I'm sorry if I give you a headache. Okay. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching the video. Looking forward to any comments you have, maybe also improvement suggestions. I'm always happy to make things as good as possible for my snakes, and if you have good ideas, I'd be happy to hear them. Thank you so much. Bye bye.